Solo queue isn't as hard as some of y'all make it out to be, and it can be a great way to get better as a player. No offense, but some of y'all are using your 3 stacks as a bit of a crutch, and you're not getting better at the game as a result. If you are solo queuing and you're struggling a bit doing this on your own, you're looking for a little bit of guidance, here's a couple tips and some advice to kind of help you along the process. First tip when solo queuing, and we're going to start off with a spicy hot take. I'm sure somebody's going to flame me for this, but consider muting your randoms. Like, just go to communications and hit nobody or friends only and just mute them right off the rip. Some of the random people that you meet in solo queue are going to be pretty good players who can really communicate and know what a good play looks like, but honestly, y'all, those people are pretty rare. Most of the time, they're just going to distract you, they might insult you for not aping a fight from a bad angle, they might blame you for the fact that they got shot in the middle of a field with no cover, they're just going to tilt you most of the time. I'm sure we've all had the experience of playing with somebody we've never met who just makes dumb plays, says dumb stuff, just makes us angry, and it's really just not worth the time. Your average randoms probably aren't going to be consistently good at the game until the later stages of Diamond, and to be honest, I'm being a bit generous on that too. Like, I've solo queued to Diamond 2 and I still keep my randoms muted. I have found a handful who are like really good, and I usually friend request them or unmute them during the game or stack up later on, but generally speaking, it's still not very consistent. Besides, odds are, if they're a good player and they're a chill person, they're probably not going to be that bothered by the fact that you have them muted. They're probably used to that already, so it's not going to bother them very much either. I cannot stress enough how much this tip has helped me this season. It's totally saved my mental health. Just like, save yourself the trouble, dude. Mute the randoms. Don't take the risk. It's going to be fine. Second tip is to make sure that you're warming up for a bit before you hit ranked. Like, hit the firing range for a bit to work on your tracking, go to mixtape and use whatever guns you're not comfortable with. Don't worry so much about your aim, worry more about dealing as much damage as you can while staying alive as long as possible. I see a lot of people who tunnel vision on their targets so that they can get that sweet one clip, but in the process, they get shot in the side and they go down, and if you're going down every time that you get a one clip, you're not actually helping the team very much. And I'm saying this from experience. This is definitely one of my most consistent issues, and improving on it has really helped me stand out against people who would honestly probably beat me in a 1v1, but they can't stay up as well as I can in a 3v3. Mixtape is a great place to work on this, like the concept of staying alive in a fight, because you're getting shot at from a ton of different places all the time. So while you're warming up, focus on staying alive while you're making risky plays. If you do a warm-up and work on whatever you think your weaknesses are pretty much every time you log on, I promise you'll see improvements. It'll just take a bit of time. It doesn't have to be a very long warm-up either, like 20-30 minutes tops, and you might think that that's too long because that's like 1 or 2 games in ranked that you could be playing, but trust me, it's going to make a massive difference in the quality of your ranked games, especially in the long run. Our third tip is specifically for all ranks below Plat. If you're just starting your grind and you're not at Plat yet, like say you're at Bronze, fight everything. Hot drop, take bad fights from bad angles, literally just fight everything. Until you hit Plat, you're really not losing very much RP from your losses, so there's really no reason to play it safe. And if you're taking tons of fights and you're still struggling to gain RP, then we've identified the main thing that's holding you back. You're struggling with fighting. This is a bit of an oversimplification, but there's basically 3 kinds of players that make it to Plat. There's the people that are good at ratting, there's the people that are good at fighting, and there's the people that are good at both. The people who are good at ratting are going to really struggle once they're actually in Plat. The people who are good at fighting probably going to make it out of Plat, but they're going to struggle when they're in Diamond because they don't know when to play it safe. And the people who are good at both are probably just going to breeze through Diamond. It might just take longer than the other ranks. If you know that you're struggling with fighting, that's good, because that means you know what you're struggling with while most of the other people around you don't know. So you're able to improve, and the other people around you aren't. A lot of people have this idea that you shouldn't take any bad fights, as in you shouldn't take any fight where you might have a disadvantage, or maybe you even shouldn't take fair fights where the outcome might be a 50-50 chance. And you know, that's true. You probably should stick to fights that you know you can win. Eventually, you're going to have fights that aren't in your favor, and if you can get more comfortable in those uncomfortable situations, you can increase your odds of coming out on top. Now, once you get to Plat, you can skip hot dropping if you want to. Hot dropping is kind of more of a coin toss than anything else, but you should still take pretty much every fight that you can. This might feel a lot harder in the first week of a ranked split, because a lot of the higher ranked players will be down in like gold, even silver, but that's even more reason to do this, to be honest. You'll get higher quality practice against higher quality players, and you're still not losing that much RP. So yeah, third tip is to fight pretty much everything until you get to at least Diamond. The fourth tip is to play more selfishly. Pick a legend with good mobility like Ashe or Loba, take the best loot for yourself, unless it's just something you don't need, of course, and when your randoms go down, don't be afraid to abandon them. If you can salvage the situation, then that's great, but if you can't, it's totally okay to leave them. The best way you can help your team and be a good teammate is by playing to the best of your ability first and foremost, and not overthinking all the different ways you can help your teammates. Your teammates are the same rank as you. They can help themselves. They'll figure it out, I promise. Now, I don't want people to misunderstand me. I'm not saying that you shouldn't res them. I'm not saying you shouldn't give them heals. What I'm saying is that you can't fix their bad plays just by playing with them, and when they make bad plays, you need to let them go and you need to play your game. I don't know about y'all, but my mama taught me that if my friends were all going to jump off a bridge, I probably shouldn't do that too, right? And I think that plays out pretty well in Apex Legends as well. If your teammates make a bad play, it's not smart to make that play with them, at least in ranked. It's also not good to be overly generous. Like, for example, if you see an Evo cache, don't overthink things and go, man, I want purple shields, but I kind of think the lifeline would make better use out of it by getting that second perk. Nah, man, you need to get purple shields for yourself before you worry about your teammates. That kind of behavior is great, totally get the heart behind it, you're a good person for thinking that, but here's the thing. When you're queuing with people that you don't know, you have no idea what circumstance they're going through right now. That person could be really good at the game, but maybe they're super tilted because they've had a few bad games. They've been solo queuing, right? Solo queuing tilts us all. And because they're tilted, they're not playing as well as they should be. Or the servers aren't always great. Maybe they have a bad internet connection and they're not able to play to the best of their ability right now. Maybe they just came off the night shift and they're not doing great. Or maybe they're playing from a different country and they have a lot of like high ping. Or maybe they routed their way to Plat. Or maybe they're actually just great and they're just playing a really good game right now and they will understand you taking the Evo cache first. Either way, play your game first. That's the best way to support your teammates, is by playing to the best of your ability first and foremost. Don't overthink things and try to play somebody else's game for them. And the fifth and final tip is a bit of a tough love tip. Stop blaming your randoms. It's not their fault that you're hard stuck Plat. I'm sorry, dude. It's really not. You also don't want it to be their fault in the first place, because if it's your random's fault, then you're never going to get out of Plat in the first place. You can't control how they play. You want it to be your fault because that's something you can control. If you can't get out of Plat solo queuing, it's probably one of two problems. Either number one, you've played less than like 100 games this split, and you really shouldn't expect to be getting out of Plat in the first place. That's not really a lot of games to get out of Platinum, assuming you started in like Bronze or something. Or number two, you have some fundamental weakness in your gameplay that you need to improve in order to consistently gain RP. Maybe your aim is inconsistent. Maybe you panic in your hot drops, or you panic in 1v1s and 3v3s. Maybe you don't really know where you should be dropping in a contested drop and you're not getting a gun and you're just kind of going down immediately. Maybe you're not moving fast enough in a fight and you're spending too much time standing still. Like, I don't know you. I don't know your individual problems, but what I do know is that it's entirely possible to solo queue through Plat, and it's entirely possible to solo queue through Diamond. I know you can see the stats in this video. I know you can see how often I carry or I'm getting hard carried. And like, I understand the struggle, dude. I understand that it's unevenly matched and it's not fair. I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm certainly not saying it's fair. What I'm saying is that it is entirely possible and you can do it if you have enough time, and not even like a crazy amount of time. You get nothing out of blaming your randoms for things going wrong. Even if it's their fault, you get nothing out of it. It's not going to make them play better. It's certainly not going to make you play better. It's just going to make you angry. It's just going to tilt you. It's just going to waste your time. It is in your best interest for the problem to be your fault, because if the problem is your fault, then the problem is in your control and you can do something about it. So stop blaming your randoms. And as a final bonus tip to maybe be more encouraging than the fifth tip, don't measure yourself against other people. Measure your progress against yourself. If you started playing this game with a 0.4 KD and you're up to a 0.8, that's massive, dude. If you've been hard stuck Bronze, as an extreme example, and you just made Silver, that's great. You're killing it. As long as you're improving, and more importantly, as long as you're having fun, it really doesn't matter whether or not you're better than the person next to you or whatever. Just play your game and have fun, dude, right? I know it can be frustrating when other people are complaining about how we're playing, they're complaining about us not playing well, etc. But honestly, if you just follow the first tip, you're not going to have to worry about that, right? Just mute them. And if you've got some guy messaging you on Xbox or hopping in your chat to tell you that you suck, just ignore them. If they were any good at the game, they wouldn't be wasting their time doing this, like raging at you, right? They would just be playing the game. Just play your game, enjoy your progress, enjoy watching yourself get better, and have fun. Well, that's all I've got for this video. Hope that's helpful. If you've got any more specific questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll either answer them down there, or if there's like a ton of really common ones, I might put them in a video and, discuss it in more detail. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to y'all in the comments.